The dark side of the New Forest. Fordingbridge. In a town with approximately 6,000 people as of 2022, why do so many terrible things happen here? The homicide rate is 8 times higher than the national average. My first encounter with seemingly unusually high negativity was back in the 1980s when, walking home from school, myself and my friends were pounced upon by reporters from the Sun newspaper asking if we knew anything about the suicides that had occurred recently and why we thought they had happened. I seem to recall that there were 3 or 4 young people who had taken their own lives, all under the age of 21, I think. Tragedy and fear were to increase when, in September 1986, a local family in the Fordingbridge area were raped, murdered and set on fire by George Stevenson and his 2 accomplices. They even tried to murder the family pet, which later had to be put to sleep due to horrific injuries. This terrible, shocking event is well documented online, the details far too gruesome to be read out here. The house was even demolished and another built in its place in a scenic area by the River Avon. Further incidents occurring in Fordingbridge include a 2011 murder-suicide when a father murdered his wife and children, then hung himself. In 2012, a depressed man jumped into the same famous Seven Arch Bridge into the icy depths of the Avon, knowing he couldn't swim. In 2013, 2 local students took their own lives. In 2014, a local vet chose the Broomy enclosure to end his life, and in 2019, a local man shot himself. That same year, a mum drowned her toddler in the bath. Going back in history, a young boy was hit by a cart and killed on the Seven Arch Bridge in the 1800s, and in 1862 a local man called John Gilbert murdered Mary Ann Hall on a quiet pathway by St Mary's Church. I'm sorry to say that there are even more suicides that I haven't listed here. So what could be the cause? Could geopathic stress cause a person to harm another or themselves? Geopathic stress is the idea that the Earth gives off a certain energetic vibration that's disrupted by underground features including tunnels, sewers, geological faults, pipes, mineral deposits, utility lines, underground water. Living above one of these areas of energy disturbance, according to this theory, can result in geopathic stress. And that stress is said to cause a range of physical and psychological symptoms. In 1929, a German medical researcher conducted a study in the Bavarian town of Willisburg, concluding that certain geological faults, fractures between 2 pieces of rock, of Earth-radiated energy were linked with cancer. All the people who had died of cancer in Willisburg since record-keeping began had slept in beds along these geopathic stress lines. Energy is amplified by water, and the River Avon runs through the Avon Valley. There is also the national grid going overhead. Perhaps it's like the perfect storm, the social and economic aspects of a person's life, an undiagnosed mental health problem, geopathic stress, all culminating to drive a person to do unspeakable things. In an upcoming video, I'm going to investigate further using my dowsing pendulum and rods to perhaps find some answers, but not in any way to dismiss or add fuel to any fire about the cause of these terrible events. Whatever the answer, I hope the individuals affected now rest in peace.